I am going to share with you a new cutting-edge weight loss method. It will rewire your relationship with food at the deepest level and permanently eliminate your cravings so that you can finally lose those stubborn 20 to 30 pounds and keep them off. In the next 6 months, guaranteed, or you don't pay. You won't be counting calories, starving yourself, or even giving up your favorite foods. Actually, once you understand this, it will turn everything you think you know about weight loss and nutrition completely upside down. It is an inside-out approach that will heal the emotional programming driving your food choices. It will allow you to break away from the harmful effects of toxic diet culture, and when you do, you'll develop a new healthy relationship with yourself, your body, and food. This will cut off all your sugar cravings and binge eating at its source and make weight loss effortless. Take Erin, for example. Before she came to me, she was the biggest she had ever been. None of her old clothes were fitting her anymore. She had no energy and was tired of all the comments from friends and family about her weight. But after discovering this breakthrough that I'm about to show you, she lost 33 pounds and 22 inches in just a few short months. She could finally fit into those old clothes again. Crazy, right? The best part is it works fast. Just days after you discover this method, you'll immediately notice a difference. Instead of starving yourself, doing keto, Whole30, intermittent fasting, or even Weight Watchers, you'll still be able to eat the foods that you love, lose weight faster than you ever have before, and more importantly, actually learn how to keep it off. Take Cheryl, for example. She was struggling with intense cravings, overeating. She felt like she never was full. She tried Atkins, keto, paleo, fasting. Nothing seemed to work. But after trying this weight loss breakthrough, she lost 15 pounds in just 12 weeks. Pretty amazing, right? And it doesn't matter how much you've struggled to lose weight in the past. If you're a busy woman, if you work long hours, or if you think you're too old to get in shape, because take Patty, for example. She was 75 years old when she came to me, struggling with her weight. She always felt tired, and she'd basically been dieting her whole life without seeing results. But after trying this breakthrough, she lost 11 pounds and 19 inches around her entire body, getting into the best shape she had ever been in for years. That's awesome, right? So just imagine it. You're walking into your favorite store and you're actually enjoying trying on clothes again. Your partner starts looking at you the same way he or she did 10 or 20 years ago. You go to lunch with girlfriends and you're the one they're actually asking for health advice because you're glowing with energy and confidence. And I know this all seems too crazy and far-fetched, but thousands of women from all over the world have already used this method with incredible results, finally breaking away from media's toxic diet culture and freeing themselves from years of yo-yo dieting, binge eating, sugar cravings, and everything above. So keep watching, because I'm going to show you the incredible science behind it all, including a mind-blowing study out of the Donders Institute for Brain, Cognition, and Behavior, which is one of the world's leading brain research centers, proving once and for all that willpower was never the problem. Plus, I'll reveal exactly what this breakthrough method is and how you'll be able to use it to lose those 20 to 30 pounds in the next 6 months, guaranteed, or you don't pay. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Zan Rule. I'm a certified nutrition coach, a personal trainer, and a group fitness instructor. I also hold a master's degree in psychology from the University of San Diego, with specialized training in eating disorder treatment, meaning I know how to address not just what you eat, but why, and break the patterns that have been stuck with you for years. But most proudly, I'm the founder and CEO of The Habit Method, where I've had the privilege of supporting over 2,500 incredible women along their weight loss journey, helping them shed those 15, 25, even 40 pounds. And they finally mended their relationship with food. It has been an amazing journey, but not that long ago, I was actually in a really dark place. Although I was an all-around athlete growing up, by the time I started my undergrad education, I stopped playing sports entirely, and my health began slipping away from me for the first time ever. Surrounded by an environment that promotes unhealthy behaviors, month after month, my weight began creeping up, and before I knew it, I found myself living in a body that wasn't my own. I tried everything to get it back. Whole30, Atkins, keto, and just about every weight loss trick and hack you could imagine. I was so desperate to be skinny that I started destroying my body. I was starving myself, abusing diet pills, trying every unhealthy fad diet I could find, but no matter what I tried, the problem only seemed to get worse because no matter how much motivation I mustered up, no matter how much discipline I may have developed, I would always cave in the end. I'd start stuffing my face with pizza, soda, fast food, and pretty much end up right back where I started. I was miserable, overweight, depressed, and feeling like a total failure. Then I ultimately hit rock bottom. Graduation day came, and I remember standing there in my cap and gown, 45 pounds overweight. My parents wanted to take photos, but I kept making excuses to avoid the camera, like, let me fix my hair, or the lighting's really bad here. Can we maybe do it later? But I watched my friends posing confidently, celebrating their achievements while I was trying to hide behind my graduation gown, hoping no one would notice what had happened to me. So that night, after all the celebrations, I sat alone in my room, scrolling through everyone else's graduation photos on social media, and I just absolutely broke down. How did I let this happen? I was supposed to be starting my life, the next chapter, but I felt like I'd already failed. In that moment, I made a decision. I was going to figure it out no matter what it took. So I began pulling apart everything I could find on women's health and weight loss, from neuroscience journals on hunger hormones to psychological studies on binge eating behavior. I even decided to enroll at the University of San Diego for my master's degree in psychology, specializing specifically in eating disorders. I thought if I could understand the science, the psychology, maybe I could finally fix myself. And what I discovered there shocked me. Reading case after case study, the pattern started to become clear. Every single person in these studies, every woman who struggled with yo-yo dieting, with binge eating, with that constant start-stop cycle, I knew so well they all had one thing in common. And it wasn't about willpower. It wasn't about their motivation. It wasn't even about the food. It was about their relationship with the food. So let me explain. You see, what I discovered was that the way we eat today is just a choice we make in the moment. It's actually the result of patterns that start forming from the moment we're born. So in psychology, we call it conditioning. From your earliest days, food is tied to an emotion. A bottle when you cry, a treat when you're good, maybe a special dessert at every holiday. And maybe even in your house, you had to finish everything on your plate, whether you were actually hungry or not. Now, throw on top all the things like family culture, stress, and unprocessed trauma, and your brain starts making these connections. It learns that food isn't just fuel for you anymore. It's comfort, it's safety, love, relief, maybe even belonging. So over time, these associations get stored in your brain. And once they're there, they start running automatically without your permission. All it takes is one trigger. Stress from work, feeling disconnected, maybe walking into your parents' kitchen, and your brain flips that old program on. You reach for the food that once soothed you, often before you even realize you're doing it. This realization changed everything for me. I wasn't broken after all. My brain was just running a script that it had learned a long time ago. But scripts can be written, so I became obsessed. I dove into the neuroscience of habit formation, the psychology of emotional regulation, and over time, I began developing tools to identify and process my emotional triggers as they came up. And ultimately, this taught me how to write the pattern at its source. I began developing a system for healthy living, a way to love and nourish my body from my mind from the inside out. And to my disbelief, the cravings vanished. But not only that, my inner dialogue completely changed, not just about food, but about everything. The binging stopped, and after a month, I started to see a difference in the mirror. And when I stepped on the scale, I was already down 8 pounds. A few months later, I was down 19 pounds, and the weight just kept dropping off effortlessly. It was like taking a blowtorch to butter. I couldn't believe how quickly and easily it was coming off. I lost an incredible 45 pounds and I felt so much happier and healthier. And most importantly, I finally accepted myself and my body. When all of this happened, my friends and family were mind blown, and many of them started to ask me to share my secret to weight loss, and so they could see if this approach would work for them. At first, I was a little skeptical. I wasn't sure that my approach would work for them too. But when I started showing the people around me, to my surprise, they started seeing results too. Women had struggled with their weight for years, sometimes their entire lives, and they all of a sudden were losing 15, 20, 30 pounds in a matter of months. You can see some of them scrolling across the screen right now. And over and over and over again, they started losing weight effortlessly without having to go to the gym and without having to deprive themselves or relying on willpower, all thanks to this weight loss breakthrough. I'm going to share this with you in just a moment, but first, I want you to know if you have tried to lose weight in the past and failed, don't worry. It's not your fault, I promise. For over 70 years, the media has been promoting a very toxic diet culture. Ultimately, a horrible belief system that worships thinness, that equates being skinny to being healthy, that says you have to lose weight to be a good, valuable human being. Diet culture demonizes certain eating styles and elevates others. It makes people who struggle with their relationship to food, like I did, feel terrible about who they are. And it ultimately makes them feel like they don't deserve happiness, feel like they're not amazing, beautiful human beings. It's wrong. It's horrible, it's unfair, and worst of all, it makes it impossible for you to escape the vicious cycle of losing weight. Because when you start doing crash diets and using willpower to starve yourself, your brain doesn't see this as getting healthy. It actually sees it as a threat, as starvation, as scarcity, and your brain has one job: to keep you alive. So it fights back. First, it sends your body into a survival mode, and your body begins to protect itself by absorbing more calories from food. And at the same time, your body starts storing more calories and burning less of them. It's a double whammy, resulting in a slow metabolism and making it almost impossible to get in shape. But more importantly, the emotional patterns and conditioning that drive you towards food remain untouched. The ones that make you reach for chocolate when you're stressed, open the fridge when you're bored, finish the whole bag when you're lonely. These patterns are hardwired. They run automatically, like breathing. And when you try to override them with willpower, you're not fixing anything. You're fighting your own brain. It's like trying to hold back a river with your bare hands. You can do it for a while, right? You use all your strength, you grit your teeth, you tell yourself you're strong enough, but the river doesn't get weaker. It doesn't just go away. The pressure begins to build behind your hands, getting stronger and stronger because willpower is finite. It's like a muscle that gets tired, but conditioning is automatic. It doesn't need energy. It doesn't get tired. It just runs 24/7 without you even thinking about it. So while you're using all your mental energy to resist, to be good, to stick to your diet, your brain is quietly running the same program it's been running for decades. Oh, you're stressed? Well, maybe you should eat. You're lonely? Food will help you. You're celebrating? Time for some treats. So the pressure builds and builds until eventually you cave. Not because you're weak, but because you're fighting a battle you were never meant to win. And look, if you're still skeptical, I totally get it. I used to feel the same exact way until I saw a recent study by European scientists. What they wanted to know was, could the automatic patterns that drive us to food actually be rewired? So what they did, they recruited 58 participants and split them into two different groups. One group got a standard educational program about healthy eating, but the second group did the complete opposite. For 8 weeks, they worked on becoming aware of their automatic patterns, catching themselves when stress triggered eating, recognizing the difference between emotional hunger and real hunger, breaking the unconscious habits that have been running their lives. And here's where it gets really incredible. The scientists didn't just track weight loss or food diaries. They actually looked inside their brains using MRI technology. They watched what happened to the neural pathways. the actual wiring that drives us to food. And when they compared the brain scans after 8 weeks, the nutrition education group, the ones who learned all about healthy eating, their brains, in fact, hadn't changed at all. The same neural highways that fired at food cues before were still firing just as strong. But the group that worked on their automatic responses, the scientists could literally see the rewiring. The brain regions that control food cravings, especially the midbrain where reward patterns live, had changed fundamentally. The pathways that used to light up like fireworks at food cues, the conditioning that said stressed equals eat or maybe sad equals food, has been disconnected in just 8 weeks. Isn't that crazy? So according to this new science coming out of Radboud University, when you rewire those emotional associations that have been running your entire life, the triggers lose their power, the cravings disappear, and your brain stops treating food as the solution to every emotion. The automatic reaching stops, the constant mental battle goes quiet, and for the first time in maybe decades, you have full control. So you can finally lose the weight and actually keep it off. It's all possible thanks to this breakthrough. I call it the habit method, and here is exactly how it works. So what we do instead, we use a powerful 4-phase process that identifies your unique emotional triggers and automatic patterns, and it gives you a personalized protocol to rewire your brain's relationship with food so you can eliminate cravings at their source and shed excess weight quickly and easily, without counting calories or restrictive diets. So first, what I like to call is the reset phase, where we identify your limiting beliefs and diet culture conditioning, the deep-rooted thoughts that have been sabotaging you for years. So we complete a comprehensive assessment of your current habits and establish your personalized baseline, because once we understand your specific triggers, we'll have a clear blueprint of exactly how your brain works and how to use targeted interventions to break those automatic food patterns. From there, we go to phase 2. The rebuild phase, where we implement small, sustainable changes using a technique called habit stacking. So this is where you attach new healthy behaviors to existing habits you already do, like 10 squats after you brush your teeth or taking a 5-minute walk after lunch. This bypasses your willpower completely because you're not relying on motivation. You're creating automatic triggers that work with your brain instead of against it. We also introduce the 90-second rule. This is a breakthrough technique based on neuroscience research that shows emotional reactions only last 90 seconds, unless you feed them with your thoughts. So when you feel triggered to eat, instead of fighting the craving or giving in, you pause for 90 seconds. You feel the emotion without judgment and let the chemical surge pass naturally. This rewires your brain's response to emotional triggers, breaking the automatic stress equals food pattern that's been running your life for years. Then we move to phase 3, the reclaim phase, where we use exposure therapy techniques to help you face your fear foods without anxiety. See, when you avoid certain foods because they trigger binges, you're actually strengthening that fear response. But when you gradually expose yourself to these foods, in a controlled, supportive environment, of course, your brain learns they're not actually threatening. The anxiety begins decreasing, and the food loses its power over you. We also address the peak end rule, a psychological principle that shows your brain remembers experiences based on the most intense moment and how they ended. So we create positive peak moments in your journey, and you ensure you end each phase feeling empowered, not deprived or burnt out. So this completely changes how your brain remembers the process, making you excited to continue instead of dreading it. Finally, in phase 4, the rise phase, we anchor your new identity so you don't just lose weight temporarily, but become the type of person who naturally maintains it through rituals, reflection, and ongoing support. And no, this isn't just positive thinking or mindset work, I promise you. It's a proven scientific system based on real research. According to studies in neuroplasticity, when you consistently interrupt old patterns and create new neural pathways, your brain literally rewires itself within just 8 to 12 weeks. The automatic responses that used to drive you to food get replaced with healthier, more conscious choices, without willpower, without restriction, and without the constant mental battle for years. So, if you're exhausted from the endless cycle of losing and gaining weight and you want to finally eliminate those cravings and beat emotional eating and start losing weight fast, then click the button below this video right now and schedule a free consultation. During this session, I'll show you exactly how you use this breakthrough method and lose those 20 to 30 pounds and keep them off in the next 6 months, guaranteed, or you don't pay. But I need to be upfront with you. I can only work with a small number of clients each month because each personalized protocol requires a deep analysis and one-on-one attention. And truly, I am committed to delivering life-changing results, not just churning through clients. So if you want to secure your spot, you need to act now. Your days of restricting and rebelling are over. Your nights of guilt and shame about food are done. Your life of putting yourself last ends now. Just click the button below and schedule your breakthrough call right now. And I'll show you how to get the body you have been dreaming of for years. So again, my name is Zan. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to help you become my next success story.